So the final step of recruiting new clients using the internet is to make sure that that message is seen by as many relevant local pet owners as possible. And paid ads is a really important tool in achieving this. So what are paid ads? Well, this is where you're paying to put your message across to people that you choose to see your message. And in this session, we're going to be looking in a bit more detail at what the ads are and how they work. And then we're going to be asking the question, are they necessary? And that might be a slightly different answer depending on your local setup, depending on how much competition there is, and depending on what type of practice you have. We're going to talk about the alternatives. What are the alternatives to paid ads? And in reality, that's going to be what do you need to be doing alongside paid ads if you're using them. And then I'm going to give you a yes or no verdict. Yes or no, do you need to use them for your practice, just to help you in that decision-making process. So what are paid ads? We're looking today at Facebook ads and Google ads. So this is an example of a Facebook ad. So when you log on to Facebook and you're looking at your news feed, you might see something like this in your news feed. And then you'll see that little word there, sponsored. This shows you that this is a paid ad. So the reason that you're seeing this content is because those people have paid Facebook to show it to you. So similarly with Google ads, this is what a Google ad looks like. You can see the little arrow there and the little purple word ad, showing you that Premier in this particular circumstance, are paying Google for their ads to be shown. So the other results are appearing organically, and that result, people are paying for them to be seen. So there's actually quite a lot of similarities between Facebook ads and Google ads and the way that they work. For both types of ads, you pay every time somebody clicks on them, or you can pay for a certain number of impressions. So that's to say, you can say, right, show my ad 1,000 times. With both sets of ads, you can set a budget. This is really important because you want to put a limit on how much money you're going to spend on the paid ads. And with both sets of ads, you can target them to relevant people. And that little sentence is the whole incredible power of social media ads and Google ads, because they are targeted to relevant people. They're not, when you do an advert on the radio or in the newspaper or you put something up on a roundabout, you're targeting everybody in a scattergun way. With internet paid ads, they're targeted. You're targeting people that you want to be new clients at your practice. Then there's a difference. So the difference between Facebook ads and Google ads is that Facebook ads are targeted using demographic data. So that's to say, we're saying, right, I want to show my ads to these people who live in this area, who have these interests. And that's in contrast to Google. Google ads are targeted by search terms. So that's to say what somebody's written into Google. So if somebody's typed in vets and ferrum, then you're choosing to display your ad to those people. There is a slight demographic ability in Google ads, but it's very, very minor. And so when you think about it, this actually makes quite a big difference. So with Facebook, you're showing people the ads when at that moment in time, they're not necessarily thinking about their pet. They don't necessarily have a burning need to find a vet, but you're targeting people that you know are relevant, so they're local pet owners. When it comes to Google, though, you're targeting people that at that very moment in time have identified themselves as people that you would like to connect with by typing something into Google. So at that very moment in time, they are looking for a vet. And if you can show them your ad at that very moment in time when they're looking for a vet, then obviously that's a very powerful opportunity. So we're going to look in a bit more detail at Facebook first. And I'm just going to start by taking you through how the Facebook algorithm works. So Facebook tell us that when the average person logs on to Facebook, there's 1,500 different bits of content that they could show them since they last logged on. And that's a huge number. And it's because Facebook is so busy now. People have got more friends than they used to have. People are posting more frequently than they used to. And then you've got apps, things like Strava, running apps, so telling people how far you've run, people telling other people how they've done in a game. And all those bits of content are competing for people's attention. Now, Facebook's main priority is to make it a really nice experience to use the platform. So they want people to log on and see information that they're really interested in and that they're going to spend a long time looking at. So the last thing that they want to do is show them 1,500 bits of information in a random order, because it would get really boring. You'd be off in seconds after you'd seen updates from people's Strava ads. So they use an algorithm to filter that down to 300 things. And the algorithm also works in working out what they're going to show you first. And there's a whole load of factors that go into that algorithm. Facebook don't give us the exact formula, but they do tell us a lot about what goes into it. And there's been a lot of reverse engineering to work out what the factors in the algorithm are. And it looks like these are the main factors. So firstly, time from post, and this makes absolute sense. So if you've posted something and then 2 weeks later somebody logs on, they're highly unlikely to see your content because it's going to have been pushed down out of the way by more up-to-date bits of information. Second is frequency of interaction. And again, this makes absolute sense. Facebook wants us to go onto Facebook and see information that's really interesting and engaging for us to read. So if your page has posted information and nobody is engaged with it, that's giving Facebook a signal. This page is not interesting for this person. Don't show them content from this page again. This is a real challenge for vets because lots of our posts, people are really interested in reading about health updates, information about their pet, but they won't necessarily want to click like on a post about fleas, and so they won't engage with it even though they're interested in it. But as far as Facebook is concerned, that person is not interested in your content. The type of post feeds into this, so it seems that Facebook gives more exposure to videos, for example, rather than images. It seems like if you have an image in your post, you on average get a bit more interaction than if it's purely text. It's not always the case. We can have text posts that do incredibly well. And then historical interaction with similar posts. So again, this makes a lot of sense. Facebook wants to show you things that you found interesting in the past. Has the post been hidden or reported? So Facebook does, if lots of people have hidden a post, Facebook's algorithm will think, this content is unattractive, people don't want to see it, I'm going to stop showing it to people. And that might have repercussions about when you start thinking about posting things that some people might find upsetting. And then the page has been hidden or reported. Obviously, if you get people hiding your posts, that's not going to help you. And then the last factor is the really crucial one. So this one here, pages are less important than people. Now, that happened in about 2013, that Facebook introduced that factor into their algorithm. And when they did it, we saw all of our vet practices Facebook pages drop off. The reach dropped off literally in the space of a week off all of the pages that we ran. And the reason that they did this was a deliberate ploy, because advertising revenue is really important for Facebook. So they were quite open about it. So this is what they published about the same time that we noticed a really big drop-off in our practices pages reach. We're getting to a place where, because more people are sharing more things, the best way to get your stuff seen if you're a business is to pay for it. So Facebook have deliberately set the algorithm so that if you're a business, you're not going to get maximum exposure for your page unless you use ads. And I it's easy to sort of, we sometimes get sort of like, oh, well, Facebook, they don't show the page unless you're paying, and, they're just, what are they thinking? But it makes business sense for them. So Facebook's Facebook's whole revenue is 55 million. Would anyone like to guess if what the advertising revenue is? What percentage the advertising revenue is? Maybe you could just show me some hands for 50% or 1%. Anyone? 50%, 70%, 50%, 80%, getting closer. 98% of Facebook's revenue comes from advertising. It's their only way of making money. This is what Facebook does. It knows people, it has lots of demographic data, and it lets businesses give adverts to relevant people. That's its entire business model. The reason that I'm explaining that is because I'm explaining why I think it's so essential that you use Facebook ads, because you're being deliberately curtailed if you're not, and understandably so. So when you're running Facebook ads, you can choose to target by impressions or by clicks. So you can say to Facebook, right, I'm going to pay for you to show my advert 1,000 times. Or you can say to Facebook, right, I'm going to pay you to have 10 people click on the ad, and you only pay if someone actually clicks. Well, we've found 100% of the time, across all of the accounts we've ever run, that if you target by impressions, you get far more conversions per pound than if you target by clicks. And it comes back to what I said right at the beginning of my first talk, is that we are so lucky as vets using Facebook that people are really interested in our content. They really want to engage with it. If you imagine if we were dentists or undertakers, how much more of a difficult job that would be, then you start to realize how lucky we are. So of course, if you show people 1,000 ads for a veterinary practice, more people are going to engage with that than average, and that's why we do better if we target on impressions. So make sure you target by impressions, not by clicks. The cost varies, so the cost that you pay per 1,000 impressions varies depending on which type of people you're targeting, where they live, how much competition there is. Again, as with Google, you set a daily budget. The minimum daily budget that you can spend in the UK is £1, and that translates approximately into other currencies. And you can choose the landing page, or you can target the Facebook ad back to Facebook. So this is the screen that you get when you try and start setting up Facebook ads, and it's very overwhelming and confusing. And don't feel bad about seeing this screen and thinking, oh, I can't deal with this, because some people, their entire career and job and everything that they study is paid ads. This is an entire career choice. So don't feel bad when you see this and you feel a little bit overwhelmed. So what I'm going to try to do is to give you a practical guide on what we've found works best for veterinary practices, most of the time. So the first thing, and our first priority whenever we start working with a new practice, is to run some Facebook ads for likes. So this means getting more people to like your Facebook page. And the reason for this is that I think the number of people that like your Facebook page is a crucial thing to increase. When you log on to Facebook, on your newsfeed, you will only see information from 4 different places. So you will only see posts from people that you're friends with. You'll see posts from pages that you like. You'll see posts from groups that you're a part of. And you'll see content that your friends have engaged with. Now, for the moment, I'm going to put people out of the equation for you guys. It is not a good idea to set up your vet practice as a person on Facebook, because it means that for your clients to engage with you, they have to share their personal updates with you. And I don't think you want that any more than they do. I'm also going to take groups out of it. Now, groups is an interesting one, because groups get around the algorithm and seem to be shown a lot at the moment, and some vets are now using them because of that, but I don't think it will last very long. So really, the only way that you can get onto somebody's Facebook newsfeed, so your potential new client, your local pet owner, the only way that your content is going to be seen is if they like your page or if their friend likes your page. So either way, it all comes down to the number of likes you've got. And if you've got a low number of likes, that's going to be a really big limiting factor for you. You're never going to reach very many people. You might have one post that goes completely viral, but on a consistent level, you're not going to reach many people. So this is the type of thing that I mean. This is an ad that we wrote for a vet practice in a sort of Kent kind of direction. The wonderful thing about internet ads is, as well as being an art of creating something nice and creative, it's also a science, which I like, and you guys will probably like as well. You get data back as to which ad works best, and you can learn from that. So if you find one ad is working really well, you think, why is that ad working well? Can I make some more ads like that? Why isn't that ad working? What can I learn from that? I'm just going to share a case study with you now. So this is the London Cat Clinic. It's a new practice. It was about 18 months ago now that it opened. So we started working with Jeremy, the vet that runs the clinic, 1 month before he opened his doors. So we were running his Facebook page for a month before he opened his doors. And this was the first post we ever wrote for him. So you can see we've got 561 people have been reached. So 561 people have seen that post. Well, that's cool. I mean, don't forget, in normal marketing statistics, you've spent maybe 10 minutes writing a post. 561 people have seen it. That's quite good. We then spent a month engaging with the community, taking an interest in them, running Facebook ads to build up likes. And this was the day that he opened his doors. And you can see that on the day he opened his doors, we did the same again. We posted, we put a bit of budget behind it. 18,800 people reached, all local pet owners. So you can see the power of Facebook ads. We've paid to get those people liking the page. I think it's a really good investment because those people are now permanently connected to that page. Every time we post for the London Cat Clinic, there's a really good chance that some of those people are going to see that post and are going to stay connected with us. That's the graph showing their likes and how they went up, and the vast majority of that was driven by Facebook ads. So we could have done what a lot of people, taken the approach a lot of people take, of just letting it build up organically. But we were Jeremy was obviously actually paying us for his time, but if you're doing it yourself, your time is incredibly valuable. You're spending a lot of time on this. Your staff are spending time on it. And for months and months and months, you'd only have had 500 people seeing your content, whereas from day one of his doors opening, he was having about 20,000 people seeing each of his posts. So to my mind, that's a really good investment. So that's the first type of ads. The second type of ads that we use a lot with our clients are lead generation ads. And these ads actually take you off Facebook and to a page on your website. So it's really important that they take you to the right page on the website. This is an example from outside the industry. So, this is Battersea Dogs Home. So you can see here, there's a call to action at the bottom there. Sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. So just there, learn more. And that takes you off the website, off Facebook, and onto the website. So we use these ads when we're running offers and promotions. So if you're promoting your dentals and we want to get people to come in for a special offer, if we're trying to get people to sign up to the health plan, we use lead generation ads so that we can get people to visit the vet practice website where they can learn more about what's on offer. This was a promotion that we did very recently with a vet practice in Salisbury. They were running a reduced price neutering campaign, and we had 45 people coming in for that campaign, and we spent £60 on Facebook ads. So page post ads, this is the other type of ad that we use a lot more. Now, we only really use these ads if pages have already got a lot of likes. Getting likes is always our first priority. But sometimes we don't necessarily want people being taken off to the website, but we do want to make sure that people see a post. So this might be where we're talking about the brand, we're posting to describe how friendly we are, we're posting to describe how high-tech we are, we're sharing a case study. It's something that we feel it's really important that everybody sees. This is an example from outside the industry. This is Tom's shoes. And you can just see this is non-commercial, but they're just trying to get this post out there because it's important for their brand. So when it comes to building your ad campaign, you'll need to start targeting. And this is really cool the way it works, because when you first start building your Facebook ads, you'll see here, it tells you how many people you would reach if you didn't filter down. So you can see here, we would reach 39 million people if we didn't target down. But look, see here, the estimated reach is only 4,000. So you're taking a complete gamble on which people are going to be targeted. So that's when we start with our targeting. And first of all, we tend to target by location. For vet practices, this is always going to be a really important factor, because there's a certain distance beyond which people won't drive. And you will know what that distance is for your local area. There's not much point in pushing that location, because you may as well pay to get somebody that's really close rather than someone that's maybe just close enough. You can target by age. We generally don't. We generally target everybody over the age of 18. And you can target by gender. Again, we don't use that very much, and we don't find that that's a big enough difference to need to change that targeting. This is the most important targeting that you will do as a veterinary practice with Facebook ads, and its interests. So this is where we can target cat owners that live in your local area. And we will make a completely different set of adverts for cat owners than dog owners. I don't know how many of you use Facebook, but if I'm on Facebook and I see a cat, I'm a dog owner, so it doesn't necessarily catch my attention. If I see a dog, it might catch my attention slightly more. So where we're paying for impressions, you're going to get more people clicking, the more targeted it is. So this is the really crucially important part, is making sure that you're targeting the correct people. We often make ad campaigns even targeted down to a breed basis. And the reason for this is if you see your own breed of dog on Facebook, it magnetically catches your attention, and you're much more likely to engage with that ad. So you get far more clicks for the same budget. You can target by all kinds of frankly creepy demographics. We don't do this. Doesn't help us. For vets, the biggest difference between people is the pets that they own. And your small businesses or groups of small businesses, you want to appear to every ethnicity, so it doesn't really work to target for us like that. Sometimes we might want to target people who don't like the Facebook page. So obviously, if you're running to get new likes, it does that automatically. But sometimes if we're doing lead generation ads, we might want people to see it who don't already like the Facebook page, because we might be trying to target new clients. So we might be trying to target people that have just got a kitten. So that's the targeting done, and you'll find your number has gone down quite dramatically. So this is a slightly more advanced technique that you can use on Facebook ads. Has anyone ever had the experience where you've looked at a pair of shoes on Facebook? You've looked at a pair of shoes on a website, and then everywhere you go, that pair of shoes follows you around. This is called remarketing, and it's possible to do it using Facebook ads. So the way that it works is you develop a custom audience, And the way that I'll show you in a minute how you define who this custom audience is, and then you show the custom audience a special range of ads. So you can create your custom audience based on their email addresses. So if you've got an email database from your practice management system, I'll give you an example. You could download all of the email addresses of people with rabbits, and you could show them rabbit content every time they go onto Facebook. So that's more interesting for them, it's more relevant for them. You can target by people that have visited your website. So to give you an example of that, you could have a page, an informative page about neutering, where people can feel equipped to make the decision as to whether to neuter their pet. And then when you go onto Facebook, when those people go onto Facebook, you can make sure that they see more ads from you about neutering. You can make sure that they see your neutering promotions. And this is why Facebook advertising is so famous, so powerful, and why it's taken over the world. Because you can target people in such incredibly detailed ways. It is advanced, but it's worth looking into, particularly if you're running promotions. To make the visitors to your website work, you have to put a little code onto your website to identify the people. So those are, yes, you could target clients with elderly pets as well, so you can download the email addresses from your practice management system, filter them so that you've only got those with senior pets, and then if you've got a senior pet promotion, instead of wasting money showing it to all of your clients, you can just show it to those that have got senior pets. So alternatives to this, so this goes back to the algorithm that I was telling you about. We know that the closer you're posting to when somebody is visiting Facebook, the more likely they are to see your content. So if we post more frequently, you're increasing the chances that you'll be posting around the same time as one of your clients is on Facebook. Frequency of interaction. I'm going to show you a post that we've done. So we've asked people here how they chose their pet's name. And this is an example of a big percentage of the content that we produce for vets on Facebook. Because people want to talk about their pets, they want to talk about their healthy pets, and they love it when their vet practice takes an interest. So this engagement here is pretty typical for this page. They've got 91 comments of people posting pictures of their pet. That is a massive, great signal to Facebook. This page is interesting. People want to see this content. Not only that, but this is brilliant for this practice's brand. This is showing how much they care about animals, how much they're interested in them, how they feel the same way as their clients do about their pets. Please can you just notice as well something else, which is that the vet practice have replied in a very personal way to every comment. This is crucial. If you're a Facebook user yourself, you'll know that if you post on Facebook and nobody comments and nobody likes it, it makes you feel a bit funny. It's really important that people have gone to all the trouble of taking a photo of their pet, they've uploaded it onto your Facebook page, not onto their Facebook page. Please make sure that you respond with a comment, or at least you like it. And we notice this makes a bigger difference, in all honesty, than Facebook ads. If practices are not replying or they stop replying, it's literally like throwing a bucket of cold water all over the page. It just cools it down, your reach drops, everything goes off. So please make sure that you're engaging and responding with your community. And then you can try making sure that you post videos, a range of different content and images. So the verdict. Well, and this is a slide from the first lecture. This is what we believe at Vet Help Direct. And I think, as I say, most of you achieve this anyway in an offline way. We believe that as a vet, you should be there from the beginning, throughout the pet's life, and to the very end. And you should be the trusted source of information. And we believe that should be online as well as offline. Well, you guys are going to all this trouble writing these amazing posts on Facebook. You're spending a lot of time and therefore money on this. And if you're deliberately curtailing the number of people that are seeing it by not using Facebook ads, then in some ways it's a false economy. So I would recommend using Facebook ads on all pages where you're spending time creating content. Think back to the London Cat Clinic. Think of the big difference in the number of people that he's reached with the same amount of effort. It takes the same time to write a post if 10 people read it or if 10,000 people read it. So on to Google now. And the program that you need to make Google Ads is called Google AdWords, and you can just Google that and you'll definitely find it. This is, I showed you before what a Google ad looks like, and I'm just briefly going to take you through the anatomy of a search result. So this is for a search for vets in Southampton. So you can see at the top there the Facebook ad with a little ad sign near it. And then as we go down, these results here are taken from Google My Business. They are not from the website. This Google My Business, if you do one thing when you get back to your practices, please make sure that you've claimed your practice on Google My Business. It's literally a 15-minute job, and you will improve your position in the search results straight away. The positions here are determined by how important Google thinks your business is. And then down here we have the organic search results, which are more like normal search results. These are affected by your website and how well optimized your website is. So this is old data, actually. This is 2 years old. And the reason that it's 2 years old is because Google have stopped providing this information. But I just wanted to give you, in this much detail, a rough idea of the volumes that we're talking about. So Birmingham is like a big city in England. So you've got 1,600 people a month searching for vets in Birmingham. So that's a lot of people looking for a vet in Birmingham and using Google to achieve that. This chart says it all about why search engine optimization is really important. It's not the most exciting graph, but if you look, if you're in first position in Google, over 35% of people will click on your result. If you're in second place, it's less than 20. And by the time you get to the bottom of the page, you're on about 5%. So now think back to these numbers. So 30% of those numbers, that's a huge number of people that you're going to get clicking on your result, visiting your website if you're top of Google. And this is why, despite not being the most flashy and exciting part of internet marketing, search engine optimization usually delivers the biggest return on investment of any internet marketing activity, purely because of that. So Google Ads work if you're not appearing through search engine. If you're not appearing naturally at the top, you can pay to be at the top. As we discussed, you're only charged if someone clicks on your ad, and you can target based on location, just like with Facebook. But this time you're bidding for keywords, so you're bidding for, right, if somebody types this in. With Google Ads, your whole aim needs to be to make sure that your ad never shows to somebody that's not looking for a vet. And the way to do that is to make your search terms very specific. So you only want your ad to show if people have actually typed in vets in and then your local area, or vets near me if they live locally. If you write vague search terms like spaying or vaccination, they might be looking for something different to a vet. So please make sure that you've really thought through all the different ways that people could be typing in your search term. And then once your campaign is up and running, you can look at your results. And if you find that lots of people are bouncing straight off your website as soon as they've landed on it, then that tells you you're getting people that are not relevant landing on your website. The cost varies enormously. I've just given you a bit of a flavour of the cost per click. So the amount you pay if somebody clicks on your Google ad. For a vet practice in the UK, we generally would pay between about 50p and about £3, depending on where they are. This is a huge topic, again, very much like Facebook ads, but what I want to do is take you through some really common pitfalls that we see, some common mistakes. So this is the most common thing that we see. So this is and I've searched for the Great Little Trading Company, which is a British shop. I searched for Great Little Trading Company, they're coming up top. And yet, they've got a Google ad appearing there. So if I click on that, they've just paid £1, maybe £2. If I click on that, it's free. But because I've searched for their name, they're going to be occupying the whole of the first page of Google because it's about them, it's their name. So there should not be an ad there. This is a really, really common mistake we see in lots of different industries and in veterinary. Please make sure that you're not paying for a Google ad for your name because you're appearing naturally anyway and you're stopping people from accessing your website for free. This is another common pitfall that we see. So I'm searching for a physiotherapist near Fareham. Well, that is about 300 miles away. And never in a million years am I going to go there, however amazing they are. Please make sure that you've targeted your location properly. And then this is the other mistake we see. So I'm sorry for the non-native English speakers, but the reason I've given this as an example is because it's really horrible English written by a robot. Please make sure that you write your Google ads yourself. If you're going to get a freelancer or an internet marketing agency to run your Google ads for you, make sure you've checked the words that they're using and that they're in keeping with your brand. So when you're setting up Google ads, you have a campaign, and this is where you control the budget and the location. So if you have, this is just another area that we see a lot of vets confused with. If you've got 2 locations, you need 2 campaigns because you need to set different locations. You then set different ad groups. So this is determining the words that are going to be shown to people in relationship to what they've typed into Google. So you're going to need a lot of ad groups. Because when somebody types something into Google, you want to give them an ad that matches as closely as possible what they've typed in. So if they've typed in vaccinations for my cat, you want to show them an ad that is about vaccinations for their cat and leads to a page on your website that is about cat vaccinations so that it's a really relevant result for them. So it's about making it as customized as possible. And then just make sure you measure. There is a slight risk with Google Ads that you can spend money like water, and you can set them up and the money just gets spent and spent and spent. So please make sure you measure. Please make sure you're monitoring on a regular basis how your ads are performing. Alternatives. The big alternative is search engine optimization. So this is using methods to get your practice up to the top naturally. And search engine optimization is better. 35% of people are going to click on that result, only 20% are going to click on the ad. But if you're not appearing at all in that pack, far better that you get 20% of people clicking on you than none. So we use Google Ads as a sticking plaster where people are not doing very well in search results. We don't use Google Ads unless there's a lot of competition if vet practices are already in this knowledge box. So it might be that you're appearing top for vets in one area that's near you, but for vaccinations for cats in your area, you're not. So I'd only run the Google ad for vaccinations for cats in that situation. And then finally, I'm just going to share with you a case study showing what a difference search engine optimization and Google Ads can make. This is a vet practice in Stoke-on-Trent, which is a very big area. So we spent 6 months doing search engine optimization, which is building links, looking at the structure of their website, optimizing Google My Business, and building reviews. We also ran Google Ads for areas where they weren't performing very well in search to make sure that they had a presence there. And this was in the space of 6 months. So in 6 months, they were shown 150% more times in Google My Business, so in that box. And their new client acquisition went up by almost a third. So search engine optimization really does work. So the verdict is most vet practices will need Google Ads. It's a false economy not to if you've got people looking for a vet in your area and you want new clients. However, please do work on your search engine optimization alongside it. Once your results up naturally, it will appear every time for free. So we wouldn't recommend using Google Ads if you're the only practice in the area or if you're first in the results and there's no competition. Okay, so in summary, we think that pretty much every vet practice should be using Facebook ads, but please focus on posting regularly. Please focus on getting people to engage and replying to people's comments. Google ads might be useful, but don't forget search engine optimization. And with all paid ads, monitor, 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 check your results, and keep changing things until they're correct.